Hi, in this video, we're looking at the 2025 KZN Trial Paper 2. Our focus is on question 8.2, which pertains to geometry and specifically ratio and proportion. We start off the question. It says, in the diagram, triangle ACE has point D on CE and F and H on AC, such that important information, DF is parallel to EA, it's marked in the diagram. Goes on to say that DF is produced to G, AGB, GH, and BC is drawn with, let's underline, BC parallel to GH. Then we are given that HF is equal to FA, and that's also marked for us in the diagram. And there we have our first ratio, which we're going to play with. DE is to CE, so DE is 2 units, and this whole thing CE is 5. It's actually not units, it's in the ratio. So if that's your 2R, this whole thing is 5R, it means CD has to be 3R. So R is just a variable we're using. And then it goes on to tell us that BG is 12 units, which I'm going to put down. That's actually 12 units. And the question is to find AG. So my starting point here would be, if I look at AG, so we got AG, we see a parallel line, over BG is equal to, well, we're going to compare it to this line called AC. So we have AH over CH, but we don't have any information on this line at this moment. So we're going to change our focus, and I'm going to highlight the triangle in red, as you can see. And remember that the two lines are parallel in this red triangle. It was given. So we can find AH over FC. So to do that, I'm going to write that down. And we'll start with CF over FA. Now remember, we have our parallel lines that are given. So we broke it at F. CF over FA would be equal to 3 over 2 as a ratio. So if we want to actually find them in terms of units, let's just call it 3K over 2K. So we're going to put this information into the diagram. So we are now saying that CF will be 3K units and FA is 2K units. But remember, we know that my screen just went down. We know that HF is equal to FA, so which means that HF has to be 2K as well. So our conclusion is that CH has to now be 1K because CF is 3K. So we can write that down, that CH was actually equal to, we're going to take 3K minus 2K, which is actually equal to 1K. And the reason is that, remember, we are saying that HF is equal to AF. But also we need a reason for this, which I left out. That's your prop int theorem, comma, the lines that were parallel was DF is parallel to EA, which was given. So we now found CH. Okay, we're now going to move our attention to the next triangle, which is in blue. And remember, in this triangle, you can also see that the lines are parallel, so we can use the prop-in theorem to find AG. So we can now state that AG over 12 units, because BG is given to be 12, and there's our parallel line. GH is parallel to BC. So we can now conclude that AG over BG will be equal to AH over CH. And your reason here is prop int theorem. And your lines parallel there would be GH is parallel to BC. Now remember, we got AG over 12, and you look into your diagram, AH, which we proved, will now be your 4K, and CH is 1K. Well, we can cancel our K's off. And then we're going to cross multiply. AG times 1 is AG, and 4 times 12 is 48 units. And there we have our AG to be 48 units.